So, I'm Sam, and I'm with Nightwing Media, and we started Nightwing Media 8 years ago now, and we started it in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and it was a fun ride. We were there for a couple years, and then we decided that realistically we wanted to go where the weather was nice and where people always vacation, so we just decided to pick up, and we found a shooter in Ann Arbor to take over our prior existing clientele, and then from there, here we are. And we have 10 people on our team, and
That's amazing.
it's a fun ride, and I love creating stuff every day.
I'm Sondra with Sondra LeRay's Photography. I mainly shoot weddings. I started out about 9-10 years ago, and I was shooting everything. And then I shot my first wedding, and I was like, oh, yep, this is it. I strive in chaos, and so I feel like that's where I was like, this is where it's at. And then from there, it's just kind of grown. I have a team of associate shooters and second shooters now, and we shoot all over Michigan. But yeah, so mainly weddings right now.
Nice. I am Molly, Hawkswell Courier, and I own Map Photography, based out of Harbor Springs, and weddings, mostly shoot all over the state as well. But it's been fun. I've got a background in photojournalism, so I was doing weddings on the side, and then realized I like doing weddings more. So it's worked out really well.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we've all worked in the wedding industry. Me, not so much anymore, but I still take the occasional weddings every now and then. We do more wedding videography as well. That's a big one for us. But now we've kind of pushed our brand more towards commercial real estate. Mm-hmm. We kind of still shoot a little bit of everything, but we're more branding associated. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like it because I like being able to speak to a brand for someone, because a lot of people, like, they don't know how to express their brand and how to actually get it out there in the public eye. So I kind of like the challenge of, like, creating something for them that they don't know they want until they get it.
Yeah. And then they see it. And then
They're like, yes, that's exactly.
so needed up here too. Yeah. So that's amazing.
But I love weddings too, because I feel like weddings kind of pushed me to where I am today. Mm-hmm. Because I like that you're photojournalism, but you're light heavily with your wedding photography, and I like that because in some ways there's two totally different styles, but they kind of fall along the same lines as well.
Right. And I notice a lot of wedding photographers will they end up going into commercial photography or branding. Yeah. Because you learn all of the lighting, you learn everything that you need on the spot. So then when you're in the commercial world, you're like, oh, I have time to set up. What?
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I love it.
Not shooting on the fly with the
right.
The pressure of the schedule.
That is one thing I will say I do not miss.
Right.
But
it's a lot.
It's also one of those things that I think as a creative, it's definitely made me learn and adapt to be, like, pivot to where you need to go because of weddings, because you are working with a very strict timeline, but also you are creating something that is going to last for these people forever, so you need to make sure that you are good at pivoting at every point in the day.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say it. I hate the blurry photo.
I was going to say, the new trend is definitely blurry photo.
Like, I have tried for years when I first started and picked up a camera to be like, it needs to be in focus.
Right.
This is what
You've worked so hard to not have blurry photos that this trend is like, what?
So I will say, as long as my subject is in focus,
right?
Yeah,
I love the movement of, like, cars or
Yeah.
people, because I feel like it adds to the story. It tells you what's happening around, and also, like, for weddings or engagement, it makes me feel like they're, like, stuck in time. Like, everything's going around them. They have no idea what's happening, and it's just the two of them.
Yeah.
But as far as, like, the subjects being out of focus,
yes,
that trend.
I mean, sometimes I'll have one. I'm like, I'll deliver. Maybe they'll like it, but I don't ever do it on purpose.
But, like, from your standpoint, from a journalist aspect, it's also really, I get, like, kind of making maybe your subject blurred, but you're pulling from the background because you're telling a story. I understand that.
I get it.
I get it. But some of them out there that I've seen, I'm like, you look like you just shook your camera and it's like, here you go.
Like anything, it can be done well and it can be done poorly.
Exactly.
So when you see some of them, you're like, that kind of missed the mark.
It has to be very intentional.
Yes.
There has to be a story that you're trying to tell. There
Yeah.
has to be something more than just There's
blur.
nothing in focus.
Yes.
Agreed. I will say though, I do like one trend that I do really kind of like. I like the paparazzi look that has been coming into.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
the
think-
direct flash kind
Yes,
of thing. Yep,
I
me
do
too.
like that, and I have done that just in some of my past weddings that I've done, and I even like when it comes to the details where it's like, but it has to be intentional too, because I feel like if your couple is not into that style, then
not
it's
gonna-
not going to work
Yeah, it's
across
gonna
the
really
board.
miss the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Which
And-
I had an engagement session. They specifically requested
Yes.
that, and it's so funny because this whole time I'm like, I use these modifiers. I'm like, oh, soft,
Yes.
soft, pretty
Yes.
light.
Yes.
And then I'm like, harsh light. Like,
Right.
let's go.
Which again, you've learned for years. Like
Right.
you
Yep.
learned how to do that. You've perfected that. So to come
Right.
to this other style now, it's almost like your brain has to get used to
Yes.
it. Okay,
Yeah,
here we
very
go.
much.
But I feel like with them, I like made it fun and like a lot of movement, and then
Yes.
it was a little bit more natural than just like blinding them with light.
Right, right. Like the
Most
end
of the time, I'm like,
night
don't look in the
elevator.
flash.
Absolutely.
Are there any trends that you dislike?
Not, I mean, photography wise, I like that we're going to kind of like that more authentic look, that there's like maybe it's a prompt that gets them to pose as opposed to the very stiff pose. But I think posing has a place too. So I still do both. I still like the look of a posed photo and think that they'll have that classic photo forever. But I like that we're kind of going that way, that people are asking for that and really want that
Yeah.
kind of like photojournalistic style or
Yeah.
candid style more. you know?
Agreed. And I realistically, I love the fact that, like you said, the prompt, because I call it this is my photo for grandma.
Yes,
Where it's
yes,
like, okay,
yeah,
we
right,
have
yeah.
to get that traditional photo for
Right.
grandma because,
Right.
Yeah.
like, she's going to want to put this on her fridge or
Right.
her room or something like that. But I do love, when we do video, I love it because it actually creates moments for both Jason and I when
Yeah.
we're both in a wedding together, because it allows a videographer to get movement, to get moments, to capture
Yeah.
intimate moments, to do all that kind of stuff. It's been one of my favorites to kind of go to, just working with the past years, like kind of more movement prompts, being more in the moment, like, hey, let's, grab her, kiss her face.
Well, it's authentic, and their
Yeah.
body is moving how it would normally be.
Exactly.
Instead of being
Right.
like, put your hand here.
Right,
like,
right.
like, it's just how they would naturally be.
agreed.
And I think having video and photo, like
Yeah,
having that
100%.
background is like, because when I'm working with a videographer during a wedding,
Yes.
my prompts are much different because I am trying to
Right.
add so much more movement, especially with flash. I do actually a lot more natural because I'm like, they don't want that in the video. So.
Yeah, and then that's my favorite, is being able to like work both sides of those
Yeah.
alongside too.
I would say a trend that I'm not a huge, like, to me, it's going to take time, is like that whole AI aspect of completely changing
Oh,
a
yeah.
photo.
Yeah.
Now, object removal, heck yeah. Like,
Right.
I'm all
100%,
day,
yeah.
saves me so much time. But to completely, like, put something that's not in that image, like a building or, I don't know, pond or, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's fun for digital art.
Sure.
And I think there's a place for it. I'm just not sure that it's like weddings or, I don't know. I haven't found that place, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I would rather go toward authentic every time than like try to recreate something that isn't there. To me, that's like the opposite of what you want to remember that day.
I think maybe if you like specifically were hired to create like this
Yeah.
digital art and that was like your thing, that's what you did. But as far as like for my perspective, like a wedding, I'm not sure that I would ever do that.
Yep.
It's hard
Yeah.
too, because you're creating a false aspect for
Right.
your clients that like, oh, I don't remember that being there.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that there? And so
Yeah.
it's like, you don't want to make their day seem any less than what it actually was.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
But I do love the object removal.
I know.
Oh,
Well,
that
and
thing
as
is amazing, isn't it?
photographers, you take so much time to learn the logistics, how you do lighting, things like that, and then to be able to just be like, nope, doop, like,
Right.
Yeah.
which is great sometimes. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But,
But
I
yeah,
think
composition, learning to take
Yeah.
things out of the photos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have to do it all in the editing, it just seems like
I will rearrange
Yeah.
a room before I have
Same.
to edit it out.
Same, yeah. Well, in timing, it takes so long to edit. So
Yes.
anything anytime you can help yourself, it's like, I'm going for that first.
Yeah.
That's my big. That's a big ick too. Is like, oh, can you just Photoshop it out? I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
please don't make me.
Right. Photoshopping things out.
Please don't.
It gets hairy.
Well, and then so many images delivered. It's like, I don't want to do it every time.
Right. Yeah.
Girls, you're beautiful the way you are.
100%.
Please just accept
You
yourself.
got that tattoo for a
Right.
reason.
That's what I was just saying.
I was just thinking about tattoos. Or somebody's like sunburn
Oh, yes.
marks.
Yes.
It's like, oh no. How many images?
Let's talk a little bit more about posed and candid, because realistically, that is kind of the dividing factor when it comes to photography. Is like a lot of people are journalism, and then there are some that are very heavily posed, and it depends on you as a creative and what you like and what you find inspiring and stuff like that. I kind of have me as a personal photographer, I kind of blend between both because that's my photo and video brain. But I think in some ways I gravitate towards more natural moments than I do pose now. I think with my brain pushing more towards video, a lot of the time is I see things a lot different now. But before, when I was a photographer, it was very posy, like very in the beginning, very posy.
Well, and it's a good way to have control. You
Yes.
know what I mean? You're controlling the light, you're controlling the situation.
Yes.
A lot of people want prompts, they want to look their best. So I think posing still has a place because people want that, you to take the lead and you to tell them what looks good.
Well, and a lot of the time, what do I do with my hands?
Yes, which I don't think I have a good answer.
I feel like sometimes people think you're a photographer, so when they go to take your picture, they're like, oh, she's going to know what to do. And I'm like,
You need
Yeah.
to tell me.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
What does my body look from that side? Because I don't know what it looks
Do you
like.
guys tell people to like look at themselves in the mirror beforehand, see what expressions they like? I've started doing that more because I feel like after doing engagement pictures where you're kind of talking them through it, it's like people have a specific way they want to look and you don't know what that is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, do it in the mirror, just 10 minutes some night and be like, do I like to show my teeth when I smile? Do I like,
That's smart.
And well, because people want to look their best, of course, and you just don't know what their best is sometimes.
Right.
I always ask them if they have a side they prefer. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you do have a, and then I try to always, if they don't, then I try to like have where I can see their ring or,
Yeah.
whatever on that side for wedding and engagement photos. But yeah, 100%. Because I feel like everybody they kind of know what,
Exactly.
what they like.
Sometimes
and what
it's
they
really
don't.
obvious and sometimes
Yeah,
it's not
sometimes
obvious
we're
at
like,
all.
nope.
Yeah.
I do have the people where I'd be like, what side do you take a selfie from? And they'd be like, I don't know. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, okay, like quick pose for me. And they instantly go. And I'm like, okay, let's
Yeah,
try
you're
this side.
Right.
Like,
It's-
this is how it is. And they're like, oh my
Exactly.
gosh, I do have a side.
It's great now with younger brides because they have grown up
Oh, yeah.
with the
Yes.
cameras on their phones and they know what
Yeah.
looks best for
Right.
them, which is
Agreed.
awesome. Like I definitely wasn't like that when I got
No.
married. I had no clue. So
No.
it's kind of nice when they can figure it out themselves and you're just like, great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like the younger generations are just so into like that type of medium.
Yeah.
Where they are naturally photogenic every turn. Like I'm just like, I don't really have to try that hard. It's like, you
natural.
guys
I love
are
it.
really great. Like, but I do have brides where they're like, I just don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, let's just feel the moment. And I always try to like ease them into it because my biggest thing is I never want to freak them out right out.
Right, yeah,
Guys
for
are
sure.
always like the ones that are like, what do I
Right,
do?
deer in headlight,
And they're
yeah.
like stiff and it's like, just relax.
Yeah.
And so my prompts for them when I normally kind of start, I'll be like, let's walk, let's talk, let's, kiss her, hold her hands, do all these things where it's like, I'm just a fly on the wall at that point and letting them do what they want. And then I slowly start to integrate, be like, okay, wrap your hand around his neck, give him a quick
That's so
little
smart.
kiss on the cheek so that they like naturally just kind of fall into it on their own. And then the prompts are as like,
Right.
Yeah.
Stage
Right. Because
fright.
it's scary
It is.
posing.
So I'd say on
to give them
social
those
media a lot. I post a lot of my like dramatic creative lighting shots, which are very posed. I'm very
and amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
So good.
So a lot of that you see on there is very posed. But with my brides and on a wedding day, the moment I talk to my bride, my number one thing is I'm going to capture the true raw emotion. I want to capture the day. I want to document the day of how it happened. And that's my number one goal. If I don't have time to get a dramatic shot or a really cool lit shot, then I don't push it. The day didn't call for it. But I always share full galleries because 90% of my galleries are natural light and it's movement and candid moments.
Yeah.
Right.
But what you see on social media is a lot of that dramatic because that's the style that I really like. That
Right.
Yeah. Those
but
are
I
the
always make
showstoppers.
sure that I share both because I'm like, you're going to get these really cool, awesome, like stoic poses. but I'm going to capture what's happening in the movement through the day, the pieces that you're missing that you don't usually see as a bride or a groom.
Right.
And then the other thing is like, so during the engagement session, I do a lot of prompts as well. And like, I do use light. So what I'll do is I'll set up my light, but as I'm doing that, constantly talking to them. So I'm telling them, okay, I'm going to set up my light and then we'll pose. Like, I don't want you to think I'm taking a picture. I'm just getting my lighting.
Right.
And then talking with them, I'll ask them like, what's an inside joke that they have? And then they start laughing or they're thinking, and then on their wedding, I remember it. And so I bring it up doing portraits.
So smart.
So then they're giggling and then they're like, oh my God, how'd you remember that?
Yeah.
I took notes. They don't know that, but
But that's huge. I mean, what a way to connect with them too. So
Right.
that's a great way to do it.
and just making them feel comfortable. And you can tell when you have a couple who has chemistry or they're just very natural with each other. And you can tell when you have a couple that they're like, I don't know what to do, move
Yeah.
me. And so I think between the candid and the pose, like really reading the people in front of you
Yes.
and their comfort level. And if they're not comfortable, like start off, like you said, posing them. Like, put your hand here. And then I'll make a joke to make them laugh or something. And then the longer the shoot goes on, the more you can be candid because now they're a little bit more comfortable with you, being in front of the camera, each other.
Right.
But I think it's scary at first going in front of somebody you don't know,
Right.
taking pictures. It's not comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
For
even
anybody.
myself, shooting like family pictures now, it's so funny how stiff you feel, even though you know exactly what's going to happen. So you can kind of at least relate back to the client and go, okay, people need to be eased into this for sure.
Like, I have to take engagement photos right now, and I'm like, I don't.
Like, do great. Do great.
I don't.
Coming from photojournalism to getting into the wedding industry, it was such a transition because I think maybe a little cocky at first, like, okay, this is great. I know how to do this, but there is such a fine line of getting everything candid and being able to pose people where it looks candid, where you can control the light. There are people out there that do an outstanding job doing all candid, but without controlling that light and giving people that direction that they want usually to make them look their best. I mean, that is like kind of a hard line to walk.
Right.
So it's so funny how the wedding industry it's so different. Like, it's just like, wow, you come in here and it's like the influencers are different. The lighting is different. Everything can be totally different from just like regular photography, commercial photography, or photojournalism. So it's amazing to see what people have figured out and all the education that's out there. Like Sondra's education, that is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, to be able to take those things now as like a younger photographer, I wish that existed when I first got into it.
Well, and like you said, everybody's different. So as an educator, I will show them like, this is how I would take this photo.
Right.
But then when they go to do their settings, I'm like, set it to because like I tend to shoot a little bit darker and maybe that's not your style. I'm like, you got to find it your way. And I always say, like, when you're taking a class or you're learning from somebody, you don't have to take everything because maybe that's not your style.
Right.
Take the pieces that you like, leave the pieces you don't, and turn it into your own and make it, because that's how we stand out. And so I know in our industry, I feel like a lot of times there's creatives who don't want to share how they do things. They don't want to share how they light. They don't want to, that's their style, and I'm not like that because just because you're sharing your technique, it's not going to look the same. They're not you. They're not going to do the same thing that you do.
The creativity that comes into it, what's in your
I mean,
your brain.
the three of us can sit here in this space, take a picture, and they're going to look completely different.
Absolutely.
And all of them are going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important because when a client books you, if there's like someone who's super light and airy, and she books me, like she's not going to book me. I'm not a light and airy photographer. And so being able to recommend photographers that you know that are that style and like helping each other out, I think is huge.
Absolutely.
100%.
I always clarify now because I think with so many different styles out there, people may like the look of what I'm doing, but sometimes people will say, oh, can you edit darker? And it's like, actually, this is my style. So when you see what's on my Instagram, that's what it's going to look like. But, I could recommend a darker photographer. But it is interesting that you have to kind of have that conversation now so there's no confusion in the end.
It's in my contract.
Yeah, that's smart.
I have it in my contract that this is my style and this is what you get.
Yeah.
And I've had in the past when I first started, people ask me to edit a specific way, and I did it because
Right, you're starting
you're
out.
young,
You don't know.
and it was just I was fresh, and I just wanted as many clients as I could, but I just felt I didn't feel like I was true to myself because I was like, I like them, but it's not me.
Right.
and it's not my style. So I have installed that into my contract now.
Yeah.
That like this is my style, and this is what you're going to get for your final product.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I haven't had any issues since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it in my contract too. Depending on what they ask, if
Right.
they're like, I like it a little brighter, like I
Right.
don't mind tweaking because
Sure.
after all, they're my client. I want them to be happy.
Exactly.
But if they're sending me something that's like way out of my zone,
Right.
then I'm like, you're gonna be better. You're gonna be happier with this
Yes.
photographer. Like
Yes.
this is gonna be a better fit for you,
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah, and
So-
it's great being at this level now where you are happy to recommend. You want to work with people that want your style, that
Yeah.
want to work with you specifically. So right in the beginning, you're just like
Right.
taking any clients that come along.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, we have a style, we're established,
Yep.
we have
Right.
what we're comfortable with, and it's interesting now to have
It
that
always kind
conversation.
of blows my mind when clients are like, "I love this light and
Yeah.
area," and then they message you, and I'm like, "Did you look
Right.
at it?" Like, it's okay
Right.
that you love that, but like, I'm not your girl. Like,
I think too, like they're spending so much money. Like as a photographer, like it is. I normally am sometimes one of the most expensive things that my clients book,
Sure.
and so it's like I want to make sure for their sake that they are like 100%
Yeah.
on board with what they're about to get, and so I'm always upfront, like straightforward, like. You see my Instagram, you see
Right.
my website, like this is what this looks like. This
Yeah,
is
it's
what
an investment. The
Yes.
decision shouldn't be made like cavalierly. You should
Right.
be like looking at the style you want in
Exactly.
the end. Yeah.
and
I
on my
agree.
website, I have where they can go and they can view full galleries,
Yeah.
as many full galleries
Yep.
as they want to view, because that's going to show them this is what
Yeah,
the day
you're gonna-
looks
this is
like.
what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of time I'm like, we share our favorite photos or the best of
Yes,
the
yeah.
best, and so being able to see like, okay, this is reality, this is what to
Yes.
expect of what you're going to get for your
Yep.
full wedding day, I think is super important to share.
Yeah, that's huge. I've heard a couple younger photographers not giving out full galleries. I know, but for me, maybe it's the people pleaser in me. But
so.
I want people to be able to see my work
Right.
and be comfortable with it going in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're not having to like switch gears at the last minute. That's just going to cause stress for everyone.
I will send out in my email when they are asking for like a consultation. I have like links in there
Yeah.
for
Smart.
galleries
Yeah.
so that they can see right away like that's what their expectation should be type thing. So
Yeah.
I just full transparency.
Yeah. And education.
Yes.
I mean, when you're talking to them, I'm always talking about schedule, because that's how you're going to get amazing photos too, is to have enough time to do it.
Right.
But that's so important, walking people through it, because usually they've not done it before.
never
been-
So
yeah.
you've done a lot.
Right.
So you can tell them what works and what doesn't.
Agreed.